One of the largest and most overwhelming investments that a family will make is the college education. Many people save for this, even if it's a little bit at a time, but not everybody plans for it. And that's very important to remember. College saving is completely different than college planning. For example, let's say you were saving for a house. You put money away every month and work toward the goal of having X number of dollars put away to purchase the house. But if you were planning for buying the house, you would discuss the amenities in the house that you are looking for, the neighborhood, the school system, etc. And it's the same thing with college. There are so many aspects to the college planning process. MyTutitionScore serves to merge all of the aspects of college planning into one easy-to-use, convenient resource. A tuition score reflects your knowledge, your preparedness, and your financial health specific to the college investment. Raising your score can lower the cost of college, often significantly. So how do you raise your score? Well, MyTuitionScore provides you with My Tuition Report, which is a full report detailing exactly how you can raise your tuition score. Your MyTuitionScore report starts with your tuition score. The tuition score is out of a possible 2,100 and is a very in-depth, complicated algorithm that will reflect your knowledge, your preparedness, and your financial health specific to the college investment. The higher the score, or closer to 2,100, the better. The first section is the projected cost summary. This will indicate the total gross cost or sticker price of the school or schools that you've selected. Also, based on your answers to the questions that you have already filled in, it will give you a good indication of how much money you will need in order to send your student to that selected college. As you move down and get to the next page or pages, it will indicate what the average salary is for someone in the field that you have selected as a major. This average salary is based on national numbers 5 to 7 years out from college graduation. The expected family contribution section is probably one of the most important things that you will find on this report. EFC, or expected family contribution, is a number that you will be receiving when you fill out the financial aid paperwork. This number comes from the government, and while it calls itself an expected contribution, it is actually more of a deductible. And that's very important to keep in mind. It is not the final number that you will be asked to pay the college. Your initial family need will be the amount of money needed after subtracting your EFC or deductible from that total sticker cost. Different schools will meet different amounts of your need, and they will do it in different ways. So the report will indicate typically how much estimated need met that school will provide. In other words, what percentage of your needs will that school help you with? And then how will they help you meet your needs? Will it be gift money or free money, or self-help, meaning you have to borrow the money or work it off? Then it will give you an achievable net cost. The difference here between this report's achievable net cost and a typical net price calculator on a school's website is that this achievable net cost is based on your actual government EFC, the same formula that the FAFSA is going to use, and these numbers are published data from the schools themselves. MyTuitionScore then scores each college on a generosity scale. The generosity score is based on the percentage of needs met with free money for families across the country. So you'll get a need-based generosity score and then a merit-based indicator letting you know how close or how far away you are from being in the top 25% for the standardized testing, SAT and ACT. The top 25% indicates a higher likelihood of receiving merit-based financial aid. Need-based aid is based on your financial needs. Merit-based aid is based on the merits of the student. Following this information, MyTuitionScore will suggest 9 schools that would be equal or more generous based on the need-based generosity score, and that will be within the same travel distance that was indicated when you initially selected your colleges. These 9 schools are not an endorsement of any school and definitely require a lot more research on your end to make sure that they would be the right fit. However, you can be safe in assuming that they will be equal or more generous than the school or schools that you've initially selected. Following that, there will be 9 schools that are ranked higher in the major that was selected. In other words, these 9 schools on a national level have a better reputation for job placement and pay, again, based on the major that was selected. Next, the all-important section of tips. And these tips are how to raise your tuition score. They are very, very important tips that will cover everything from loans to grade point to all the little things that you need to be thinking about throughout this process. After these all-important tips, you will find a financial aid checklist, which will take you step by step through the financial aid process, from the first step all the way through receiving financial aid. The most important focus of this financial aid checklist is the FAFSA, Free Application for Federal Student Aid, FAFSA. The FAFSA should be filled out by any family sending a child to college, regardless of how much money you make, regardless of how much money you have, and regardless of how many people have told you it's not worth filling out. And we can get into more specifics on that later. Then, after reading the tips and the financial aid checklist, there is a video that is an in-depth how-to for financial aid. If you have an extra 15 or 20 or maybe 23 minutes, sit back, relax, and enjoy learning all of the in-depth aspects to financial aid in a video manner rather than just this written text that is contained within the report. Following the video, make sure to download the PDFs. The College Scholarship Guide will help guide you through the scholarship process, giving you ideas and definitions of all the various scholarships that exist. The Loan Manual will highlight in detail all of the different available college loans, from payments to fees to interest rates, and all of the details that are so important when deciding how are you going to borrow money for college. And the national stats indicate that over 90% of you will be borrowing for college, so always borrow smart. Make sure to evaluate all of these different loan options. Borrowing money can make the cost of college significantly more expensive. For example, if the average family borrows $40,000 for 4 years of college, and the average family then spends 12 years paying those loans off, a 1% difference in the interest rate would equate to over $4,800 of unnecessary interest being spent. There's also a top 250 most generous schools list based on the generosity scores. Out of the thousands of schools available in the country, this will narrow down the top 250 most generous when it comes to need-based aid. The next section of the report gives you the opportunity to sign up for free for the SAT and ACT Prep section. This is not a prep course that is available to the public. This is a special featured prep course available through MyTutitionScore in partnership with Method Test Prep, with over 1,500 practice questions on the SAT and ACT, catering to the student's learning style, videos, score review, quiz assessments, and so much more. The average ACT score goes up by 3 points when using this prep. In that same section, after signing up for the test prep, take advantage of the skills assessment, careers assessment, and all of the different assessments and college matching tools available, as well as in-depth scholarship searches from Career Cruising, again in partnership with MyTuitionScore. These sections are easily signed up for by clicking the Submit button and waiting to receive the confirmation email with your login specific to this exciting section of the MyTuitionScore report. After all of these tips, videos, and more, make sure that you peruse the glossary that has dozens of definitions of all the different terms that you will hear throughout the college planning process. Good luck using your MyTuitionScore report. We hope you'll take advantage of all of its features to not only raise your tuition score, but to lower the cost of college. If you have any further questions on anything involved in the report, please email us at info@mytuitionscore.com.